are you? Good to see you. It's Kirsten Liebelt. Come on in. Come on in. A little later than usual. How are you guys doing tonight? It's really good to see you. So I was talking to a girlfriend today, and I was talking about a reel that I had done on seed oils, and it just gained so much attention. I mean, like crazy, cuckoo bananas. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a live about that. That's usually how I end up. I'm like, this is obviously something that people want to be able to chat about or at least know about or whatever. And so I wanted to talk about the connection between seed oils and diabetes. Did you know there is a connection? Isn't that crazy? So the reel that I did was some Maria Emmerich information where she is stating that seed oils actually drives diabetes even more than sugar does. I would say that's a little unnerving. How about anybody else? Raise your hand if you find that to be a little like, what? Okay, so I thought I'd bring you just a little bit of information. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Kirsten Liebelt. And, my story revolves around the fact that I grew up with an insulin-dependent dad. And my Italian dad, he would take 2 injections a day. And my whole life was that way, right? Like from my memories, right? I'm sure it wasn't my whole life, and it really did impact me because I spent a lot of time thinking that diabetes type 2 was genetic, only to come to find out that I'm going to change my chair here. There are factors that make this not genetic at all. So here we go. And in my 20s, I'm insulin resistant, gestational diabetic, hypoglycemic, 2 different babies. I hit 30 and my dad dies, and I spend my 30s doing nothing. Like, this is ridiculous, right? I know. What is it related to? Well, that's a very good question. What isn't related? And it literally is such a big issue. Like type 2 diabetes is this huge issue. So anyway, so I go through my life and I finally decide to figure it out. And, as you know, my story, if you've been following me for any given time, you know that I didn't want to change out my foods right away because I'm Italian and I didn't think that I could. I mean, literally did not think that I could. Did not think that I had what it took, whatever that means, to actually take the time and put brain space into figuring out how to trade out foods. Okay, so I started with targeted supplementation. That's what I talk about a lot. But then I also now talk about food because we have to fix what got us into the pickle to begin with, right? So there is this dawning of this age of the industrial, whatever you want to call it, where we, revolution. I mean, that's the wrong word, but this maybe, where we really did, like we told people to put real food away and start to take on these more toxic foods. And now we have all of these issues. And so we're trying to reverse this thought process to help people get into a better place. Okay, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So, first of all, I have a lot of people that will ask me, well, what are seed oils? And so I'm like, you know what? That's a really good question, right? Like we need to define what is a good fat and what is not a good fat. So seed oils are your corn, your soybean, your canola, and your sunflower oil, those types of oils, right? But then you can also add in, let me see here. I've got a few more that I could add in. Maybe not used as much, hemp seed, flax seed, rice bran oil, cottonseed oil, grapeseed oil, safflower oil, and then, like I said, canola oil. So where do we find all of these? I mean, okay, it's the obvious, right? If you open up your cupboard and you see vegetable oil in there, like I tell people, don't even feel bad, just throw it away. Just throw it away. Because I was raised on Crisco. They make a really good cookie, right? Like amazing. But they told us to stop using lard and we should use this mixture that they've created, right? Well, let me just tell you what these mixtures do and what kind of foods that they're in. And you know what's just a little bit of education, to kind of, I don't know, maybe somebody will be able to take that and actually make a change, because to be really honest, seed oils it's a really, really, really big problem and people don't even know that. So let's just get into it quickly. So when we're talking about seed oils, why are they so bad for us? Well, they're high in omega-6 fatty acid, and so they're high in inflammation, as opposed to omega-3s, where you get from your fish and everything, fish oil. Omega-6s are really high in inflammation. And so it says that excessive consumption of omega-6s can promote inflammation in the body, and chronic inflammation is linked to various health problems, including heart disease, diabetes, and autoimmune disorders. And so again, every time I talk about supplementation and helping the liver to do what the liver needs to do, we've got to help get this inflammation down, right? The second thing is that they're talking about processing methods, meaning that seed oils undergo extensive processing. So this is really kind of the rub of it, so to speak. So if you have cream from a cow and you turn it into butter, that process was literally just you churned cream until it turned into butter on your counter. Like that was the process. Who loves butter? I love butter. I was raised on butter. My mother never did adopt margarine. I'm super grateful for that. But butter is that's not, when you churn cream into butter, that's really not a processed, it went through a process, but what they're talking about is many seed oils undergo extensive processing, including refining, bleaching, deodorizing, which can lead to the formulation of harmful compounds such as trans fats and oxidation products. Trans fats are known to increase the risk of heart disease, while oxidized fats can contribute to oxidative stress and inflammation in the body. So, if you have corn oil, do we think as people that they take corn and they just mash it until it turns into oil? Or do we really think they take soybeans and they just mash them until they turn into soybeans or soybean oil? It's a valid question, right? We don't think about this maybe sometimes. Where does our food come from? Where is that coming from? As opposed to cream turning into butter, bacon turning into bacon grease, or lard coming from, animal fat, etc. Right? Have you ever thought about that? I would love to know. I think that's so interesting. Anna, good to see you. Girl, you are always so on time, aren't you? It's good to see you. So anyway, so that's very interesting how it's talking about the processing and how it oxidizes. So it's causing a lot of stress and inflammation. Okay. Imbalance of fatty acids. In addition to being high in omega-6 fatty acids, seed oils are often very low in the fatty acids, the omega-3s. And we want a much better ratio than that. Again, that has to do with inflammation. But this is all linked to chronic disease. So this is the issue. So research suggests that high consumption of seed oils, particularly those, and we'll talk in just a second here about where you find them the most, particularly high in omega-6 fatty acids. Because of the high omega-6 fatty acids linked to chronic disease, it's associated with an increased risk of things like heart disease, obesity, and metabolic syndrome. So when we're talking about insulin resistance, what are we talking about? Metabolic syndrome. Okay, so I've been convinced of this for a very long time now, because I started my journey turning back my insulin resistance 13 years ago. Excuse me. And in doing that, insulin resistance having to do with insulin resistance being a metabolic syndrome, we are working against ourselves. If anybody is telling you that you can turn around your insulin resistance and you don't have to change the way you eat, you can keep doing the ththings that you're doing. The problem is that if we're taking in a lot of seed oils, 800 calories of fried chicken from Kentucky Fried Chicken is not the same as 800 calories of, let's say, grass-fed, chicken or organic chicken in your home, right? Because the Kentucky Fried Chicken is probably fried. I haven't checked this, but I doubt that it's fried in good oils. How many of you think that Kentucky Fried Chicken, if I were to look it up right now, I'm going to ask that question. What oil is, I don't even go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, but I love their original. Who's a crispy person? Who's an original person? What oil is Kentucky Fried Chicken cooked in? It's been a long time since I've been there, but I do love that. Soybean, okay, not just canola oil and soybean oil, canola oil and hydrogenated soybean oil, which is even worse. Wow, okay, glad I looked that up. Okay, that answers that. Okay, so anyway, so moving right along, So that's direct connection to obesity and insulin resistance. And like I was saying, I'm so convinced that women are sliding into their 40s. They're insulin resistant. They do not understand the connection between their insulin resistance. Insulin is a fat storing hormone, and the fact that they can't lose weight or they're gaining weight. And this is very frustrating. This is why when you start to bring down your insulin and your sugars, you finally lose weight. It's such a beautiful thing to tell people like all the time. You work there and it's not good oil. Original is best. Okay, but original must be, and I agree. Do you mean that original is best flavor? I'm sure that it still work in the same oil though, right? Like there's no redeeming this conversation, is there? You don't like either. CFA, what's CFA? What's CFA? Chick-fil-A. Do they use better oils? Because I'm telling you, Chick-fil-A sauce, you guys, it tastes amazing, but it's soybean oil. It's so bad. Flavor, no, all in the same oil. Dang it! I thought maybe there was, thought maybe just for a second, but I kind of knew. I knew it was not going to be the same, or that it was going to be the same bad oil. Anyway, so like I said, these are the things that, we as Americans, well, I do have, I mean, I know that sometimes on Instagram, people are in other countries. So, hey, y'all in, let's see, Australia, New Zealand, and all over the place, right? But in America, and probably true, because I feel like the documentary, what was the documentary called on Prime? And it was about going into Australia and actually checking how the rate of diabetes has gone up so greatly there because of the food that's on the shelves of the grocery stores, just like us. So we get up in the morning and we have things that have seed oils in it from the minute we get up. If we're eating any kind of a bagel or a croissant, any kind of a cookie, a cracker, anything that's packaged like that, almost always has soybean oil in it. And most all of our condiments have seed oils in it. Soy, corn, canola, all of them have soy. It's stunning. It's a little like you almost can't get away from them. And when you try to reduce them, you can do a pretty good job, but it is really close feeling. I'm sure it's not impossible, but it feels like it's close to impossible to eliminate in our food supply. It feels really close. So, and then when they're talking about the development of the consumption of seed oils and the development or management of diabetes is complex and multifaceted. However, several factors may contribute to the connection between seed oil consumption and diabetes. So this is kind of where I wanted to get to on this. Anna, you love original. You're just like me, girl. We're sisters. So basically, inflammation is number one. Seed oils, particularly those high in omega-6 fatty acids, have been linked to inflammation in the body. Chronic inflammation is associated with insulin resistance. It's what we talk about all the time. A condition in which the body's cells become less responsive, your cell says no more, less responsive to insulin, leading to elevated blood sugar levels and an increase in risk of type 2 diabetes. And remember, when you're insulin resistant, and insulin is a fat storing hormone. So girls, this is why this conversation is so appropriate when we're talking about weight management, because when your cell is saying no to insulin getting fuel into the cell, the body's going to do something with that insulin. And if it's a fat storing hormone, that's what it's going to do. It's going to turn all of that fuel into fat. So it can't get into the cell. So now you're exhausted and you're gaining weight, and in places you probably aren't excited about. So that's how that happens when you're insulin resistant. So that's why I say, when you realize that you're insulin resistant, and there are lots of different factors that you could tell for yourself. You don't have to get tests done. A blood test is inconclusive because you can be insulin resistant for a long, long time before it ever shows up in your blood. So there are a lot of other symptoms. But while you're doing that, you have high inflammation in your body, you're storing fat, you're frustrated, and you're tired. I mean, it's just this whole trifecta, probably more than a trifecta. So inflammation is number one. Insulin sensitivity. Research suggests that diets that are high in omega-6 fatty acids and low in omega 3s, which are like your fish, right? They may impair insulin sensitivity, making it more difficult for the body to regulate the blood sugar levels effectively. This can contribute to the development of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Number 3 is obesity. Seed oils are often found in processed and high calorie foods, such as fried foods, baked goods, packaged snacks. Consuming a diet high in seed oils may contribute to weight gain and obesity, which are significant risk factors for type 2 diabetes. And then it also talks about how it ruins your gut microbiome. So that plays a big role in your metabolic health and insulin sensitivity. Disruptions in your gut microbiota have been linked to obesity, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes. So this is all connected. Everything is connected, okay? And some of the worst foods, let's get into that. We kind of touched on them. First one is fried foods. So, I talk a lot about how to trade out ingredients. And one of the things that I have started doing, this has been a while now because it took me time. When I started trading out my foods, I always talk about how I had carb blocker in my pockets all the time because I took my own journey and I chose to do it with a lot of self-assessment and without any shame, because there were just a lot of messages that were sent to, that were a part of my childhood when it comes to food. And so I just took my own journey and I took my own time, and I'm still on my own journey. But I used a lot of carb blockers. But then I eventually did switch out my ingredients. And so, for instance, like tonight, my husband and I, we actually took some fresh chicken wings and I used that pork panko. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Let me know in the comments. Do you guys know about pork panko, what that is? I feel like I missed some stuff. You took your magnesium and Julie, good to see you, Julie. You took your magnesium and your melatonin. We'll have to see the rest on the replay. Yes, you will have to do that, Julie. Good night. I'm so glad you're taking your supplements. Good job. Okay, so pork panko. If you think about pork rinds, yes, you do. Okay, good. Celery, Cindy says no. Okay, so basically, when you use it all the time, Jacqueline, very good, very good. You bought it recently, Lisa? Okay, perfect. So it comes in a jar. I get mine at Walmart. Now, you always have to check ingredients because you never know. I always buy the original because it seems like when you add flavor to anything, like look at this, that when you go to the store and you look at sun seeds, original sun seeds, they're good. Flavored sun seeds, crap ingredients. It's just the way it goes. So it's the same thing with pork panko. Buy it in a jar right by your breadcrumbs. And if you get the original, usually the ingredients are good. When you get the flavored, it can kind of get sketchy. So I just go original. Take my wings and I season them with garlic powder and salt and pepper. And then I can put this pork panko on it and like spray it with some olive oil and put it in my air fryer. They turn out phenomenal, like amazing. You don't have to choose food from somebody else who deep fried it in soybean oil. You can make your own stuff. And I understand it creates a new habit. It requires a new habit. I get it. It took me a while too. It's okay. There's no shame in the game, right? There's no shame in the process of trading out your ingredients. But I'm telling you, it's amazing. And not only that, but let me give you yummy. I know. Let me even tell you this further. So if I go to Costco and I buy there, and I'm not confused, like, is Costco chicken the best chicken? Maybe not, right? I'm trying to think if you even have an option to get organic chicken wings. I don't think you do, which is kind of an issue, but that's another conversation for another day. But if you take the chicken wings and they are, there's a 6-pack for like $20. If my husband and I do 1.5 of those 6-packs for each meal, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3. I'm going to get 4 meals. So for $5 a meal, I'm going to have chicken wings. And then the pork panko is a jar for like, it might be $6, but I can probably bread all of that. So maybe adding another, as opposed to if you go out to eat right now, minimum $20 a person, no matter where you go. Literally, whether you're going to like, Five Guys, McDonald's, Culver's, or a sit-down restaurant, it's the same. It's crazy. I don't know how this is happening, but it's just true. So you can do it for even less, and you're getting a better food all at the same time. So I hope that encourages somebody. That's just a little side note. So that's the fried foods, and then packaged snacks. So you guys, seriously, we have to find better options for our packaged snacks. I know that everybody wants to snack. I get it. But just look at the ingredients, okay? Because we are a snack society. Like, this is what we do. Like, I'm going to filter my own conversation right now. I just filtered it. So packaged snacks, chips, crackers, cookies contain seed oils as an ingredient. These oils are often used to enhance flavor and texture, but can contribute to inflammation and poor health when consumed in excess. So even when you go to Aldi's or something, you can go to Aldi's and they actually will have, I haven't looked for a while because I don't buy them a lot, but they will have, like, let's say, almond flour crackers, and check and see. They may not have seed oils in there. I've been surprised at some of the products that you can get at simple grocery stores like in Aldi's that actually have decent ingredients. You're like, well, look at there. Costco, I went to Costco and picked up Primal Kitchen. This is another good brand. Primal Kitchen, it was their buffalo wing sauce for the chicken wings that I was just talking about, made with avocado oil. That's a good oil. That's a good oil. But it's like the other ones are like, just look at them. Barbecue sauce is a really bad one. So you tried my snack idea with Greek yogurt and caramel stevia today. It was yummy. I know. Oh my gosh, Jacqueline, I'm so glad you did that one. Isn't that good? So basically that's just Greek yogurt. Get a good Greek yogurt, like a Fage. It's Fage, Fage. Get a good one that has some really good cultures in there. Make it plain. And then you can get a liquid caramel stevia. Oh, that was my favorite. And it's so creamy. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Okay, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so baked goods. So frustrating, I know. Pastries, muffins, cakes. Unless you're making your own stuff. I mean, you guys, I grew up on cartons of vegetable oil in my home, cans of Crisco. I grew up on all of this. So I know all of it. The cake mix and the vegetable oil, and you mix it together and you make this amazing cake. Now it hurts my heart because I'm like, no, we can't be doing that. Packaged snacks, okay, baked goods, processed meats. This is interesting. Just pay attention. You can get a good hot dog. You can. You don't have to give up hot dogs. Just read the ingredients, because you're going to find corn syrup and you're going to find seed oils. It's really icky, really icky. Sausages, hot dogs, deli meats often contain seed oils as part of the processing. These oils may be used as a binder, a preservative, or a flavor enhancer, but their high omega-6 fatty acid content can contribute to inflammation and chronic disease. Salad dressings and sauces, that's the next one. That's probably the worst. Name your favorite condiment. What is your favorite? Is it a salad dressing? Is it a barbecue sauce? Is it like a wing sauce? Is it like a Chick-fil-A sauce? What is your favorite condiment? I would love to know, because so many of them, if you just take 2 seconds, you can Google, just like I did here. I Googled what oil is Kentucky Fried Chicken cooked in, right? You could Google nutritional content of Chick-fil-A sauce if that's your favorite sauce. Ketchup. Ketchup might be okay, actually. Salad dressing. Salad dressing is it's such a culprit for seed oils, really bad. But you can make your own really easily, right? Maybe that's what we should do some night, is make salad dressings. Ketchup is probably the worst part about ketchup. If you don't read your label, it's the sugar. That's the sugar. Blue cheese dressing. That's interesting. Yep, Lisa, look at your favorite one and find out if there's a lot of seed oils, if there are seed oils in it. Yep, salad dressing is a stinker. But again, you can do a lot by just making your own. And I guess I don't make a lot of salad dressing at home, so I should do that. And then because obviously it's really fun. Like, you can make your own ranch and dip your chicken in ranch, right? Dip your whatever in ranch. Okay, so then fast food, that's another one. Fast food is a really big one, because even the burgers are fried in seed oils. Oftentimes it's really hard to get away from it. Now, I know if you go to like And I don't know that that's any better, but like Five Guys, they'll fry in peanut oil. So anybody who's allergic to peanuts, Five Guys is not your place because they even serve you peanuts there. But burgers, fries. Did you know that a long time ago, McDonald's used to make their fries in lard? Who knew that? Did you guys know that? Long, long time ago, which is that if they would have just stayed that course. But everybody sold out. Everybody sold out and started using, because the food pyramid is made by the agricultural committee and whoever grows the crops, not by MDs. And so anyway, they used to make it with lard. And now all of those McDonald's fries, they're made with seed oils. This is the problem with fast food. Burgers, fries, chicken nuggets are often cooked in seed oils due to the low cost and the high availability. Consuming fast food regularly can lead to excessive intake of seed oils and contribute to inflammation and poor health outcomes. The inflammation is the stinker. Prepackaged meals. Many prepackaged meals and convenience foods contain seed oils as a part of their formulation. Frozen dinners, microwavable meals, meal kits, which often contain added fats and oils to enhance flavor and texture. And so the good oils would be, think about this now. Let's go back to the beginning of that conversation. The seed oils, they don't take a soybean and just mash it until it creates oil. They literally go through a really horrible process that includes refining corn, soybean, sunflower, canola. They have to refine it. They have to bleach it. They have to deodorize it because it's so rancid. It's so rank. This is literally the process of seed oils that you then pick up on your store shelf and it looks golden and perfect. But that's the process it had to go through to get there. As opposed to olive oil literally is the pressing of olives. Avocado oil literally is the process of avocados, right? Coconut oil, same thing. Butter comes from cream. Like, get as close to the food source as you can possibly get. And making that one change alone can bring down your inflammation. So a lot of what we talk about, like, so I have a Facebook group and it's called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And when I do a challenge every month, the next challenge is March 4th. And I do a 5-day challenge in there every month. And we talk about ingredient trade outs and we talk about, recipes, and we talk about like my story and my pantry and my refrigerator. And if you could see my refrigerator right now, oh my gosh, like I have got to clean it. Something spilled. I don't know. I haven't been brave enough to deal with it. So I have to have that cleaned by, March 4th that week. Anyway, so, but it's really fun because then we're able to actually like bring real life information and apply it, because again, that inflammation in our bodies is causing so many issues. So when somebody, like for instance, when you start like using targeted supplementation, you can actually bring down your insulin, you can actually bring down your sugar glucose, your blood glucose, and you can make differences in your bodies. But then you can change out the foods that you eat so that you can stop what got you into the pickle to begin with. Does that make sense? I really hope it does. So you could always go to, you can either put like, I'm trying to think if I have, I don't know. So if you can go to my website, that's the easiest thing. You can go to my website, KirstenLiebelt.com, my first last name.com. And if you scroll down to the Facebook blue button, that's where the Facebook group is. And then just tell them Kirsten sent you, okay? And you can get into the group and be ready for March 4th. As a piece of housekeeping before I jump off, unless you guys have any questions or comments, totally makes sense. Yeah, good. I'm so glad that makes sense. Anybody who has been looking to reorder the trio or looking to get the trio, I am aware that the Glucose Health is out of stock right now. And so the trio happens to be three supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. The testimonies are off the charts, you guys, at this point. If you're on Instagram, you can go to, I have a testimonial bubble on Instagram, and I've just barely started to populate it, but it'll give you a glimpse. Anyway, and then there's also a post at the top of Instagram that's pinned for some testimonies. But anyway, I know that the Glucose Health is out of stock. So if you can do one of 2 things, you can either just go ahead and order just the other 2 products, or if you want to, and Instagram, I always have to make my caveat on this. You have to wait until I'm done and put it after the live has posted, or you have to go into my DMs. You can put VIP in the comments, and I will put your name down for the list, and I will announce it to you when it's, because I'm like, my eyes are on it. I am like this. When's it coming? Come on, come on. Because sometimes it sneaks back onto the shelf, and I'm like, I run and I tell my people that it snuck back onto the shelf. So that's what I want to be able to do. So you can always put VIP in the comments if you want to be on my VIP list, and I will then make sure that I contact you immediately when it comes back in. Or you can just order the other two. And if you need help with that, you can always DM me. But I'm telling you, I just like your best friend ever. If you can bring down your insulin, you're bringing down your inflammation. If you can bring down your blood glucose levels, which I have just so many testimonies of this, your body can finally lose weight. When your insulin is high and when your sugars are high, you can't lose weight. And this is why the hamster wheel. This is why it's so frustrating. This is why we just are like, no, nobody's listening to me. Why is nobody listening to me? I can't. I do the same things that I used to always do, and they're not working anymore. Why aren't they working anymore? I can tell there's something different in my body. I can tell something's not functioning right, but nobody will listen, and all they'll do is offer me meds. Did you get your trio today? You got the, you must have gotten the last bottle. I am telling you, you are one lucky lady. I'm so glad you got it today. Yay, that's exciting. Sherry, make sure that you either put that, oh, Sherry, let me write you down. Because otherwise when my live goes away, I won't see you. I won't see you anymore. So I see that you're putting down VIP. So I'll just write you down really quick. Sherry G, 1947. I will look for you when I get off right away and make sure that I can find you. But anyway, so I'm so glad you got it. Yay. I really am so glad. I can't, you guys, I'm just amazed at the testimonies. My heart is so full. Jenny, I see your VIP. My heart is so full. I can't even tell you. In fact, now Friday, what I do is I come live on Friday and I talk about the testimonies of the week. So last week I had 3 testimonies. The week before it was 3. The week before it was like 4 or 5. I don't remember. So I'll come with testimonies every Friday and I don't know what time yet, but I'll figure it out. And you can always watch the replay if you don't catch me, because I want you guys to have hope. You should get your hopes up, 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 up. That just because somebody hasn't been listening to you and what's been going on inside of your body and you're so frustrated, and maybe just like me, nobody ever told you, or you weren't listening just like me, that insulin is a hormone. And then on top of that, nobody ever said that if you would get your insulin to come down, oops, I just got blocked out. Sorry, guys. That if you would get your insulin to come down, reconnecting on Instagram, get your insulin to come down, then you can finally lose weight. Get your sugars to come down and your body can finally lose weight. And it happens over and over and over again. So, I never make any claims. I never make any guarantees. I'm not a doctor. But when I started to make these connections for myself, for my insulin resistant body, after all those years, I'm just super grateful. So anyway, all right. Make sure that you put VIP in the comments if you are on Facebook or YouTube. Well, yes. Although YouTube, you'll probably see it and it'll be in stock. They will have restocked that last bottle that you bought. You're the one. You're the culprit. Instagram, make sure you DM me or put it on the live video after I post it, because it's going to go away. The second I hit finish on Instagram, it's gone. Sorry. It's just the way it is. So anyway, have a super blessed night. I hope that you took a nugget away from any of this information so that maybe you just make a different decision for yourself on a simple meal that you can learn, or maybe you run out and you get some pork panko and you try it. It works really well on steak bites as well. So I'm just telling you, you can do a lot at home that actually turns out way better than a restaurant and will cost you a fraction of the money that, eating out right now is just obnoxious. So anyway. All right. Have a super blessed night. It's so good to come and chat with you guys. And can't wait to hear your testimony, Last Bottle Girl. Talk to you guys later. All right, Facebook. You guys have a really good night. It's so good to have you on. All right. There we go. See you later.